Content warning, y'all. We have lots of fun making this podcast, but remember, we watch a lot of R-rated films, use language that reflects that, and joke about heavy topics to create levity around these themes. If that doesn't feel safe or could be triggering, please take care of yourself. We want you to have fun listening too. This also means we might not be suitable for children. Oh yeah, and we spoil the end of all the movies we pod about. Thanks for listening.
Anyway.
Ugh, sorry.
I agree.
Oh God. Yesterday I decided to walk a bunch. So I looked at my phone and I walked 1.5 miles altogether.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I know. And I'm hurting today. And normally 1.5 miles is nothing for me. This is like that's like nothing. But 3.5 weeks post surgery, I'm very sore. I just feel
we definitely went further, much further.
Yes.
On our just general
just
walk.
General walk.
And then we walked down to the corner store later.
Because I really wanted candy because I felt depressed. And so yeah, but yeah, I'm hurting today.
And then your inside started leaking.
Yeah, and then then everything fell apart. Although one of the things, this is so gross. You're welcome. But one of the things to like look out for. I don't think I'm in danger.
Welcome to the vagina monologues.
I don't think I'm in danger now because I think the sutures have healed enough to where like I'd have to do a lot to like actually tear them. But what? Right, like you would have to like there would have to be like penetration involved or something. Like I don't know why
you're saying this to me.
Deadlifting or something. Anyway, so
well, that's what I call it when we.
But one of the things to look out for is like because I looked it up because I wanted to. I'm a very much like cautious person. I don't look things up to like I look. Like, sometimes people will, like, do, like, WebMD shit, and they'll be like, oh, I have the flu, or, like, I have, what if I have cancer or whatever. I look stuff up to rule things out. And I'll be like, okay, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have this. Okay, so it's probably not any of that stuff. That has worked for me in the past, and I've been right about every fucking thing I've ever diagnosed myself with. Oh, no, girl.
Oh, girl, no.
So one of the things like to look out for like if you tear a stitch is gushing fluid out of your And I'm like, oh God, not blood. Like, of course, like if you're bleeding or whatever, that's something to look out for.
Sure.
But if you suddenly start gushing fluid from your abdomen, I'm like, oh.
From your abdomen.
Yeah, because that's where the hole is in your not abdomen, well, like pelvic, like out of your vagina.
Okay.
Like if your starts leaking fluid from, I'm like, oh, just the thought of like suddenly being like.
Well, some people, that happens every orgasm.
No, I know, but girl.
I mean, so cheeky.
It's true. Yeah. It like gave a little when I said girl. It was like, oh.
Red line.
Yeah, girl.
A little display. It's like little fireworks.
Girl. It's with a U. G-U-R-L. Girl.
It's like one of those iMessage animations. It's like the laser or whatever. So, hi and welcome to this thing. Thanks for still being around.
Yeah, thanks for being around. Thanks for understandable if you skipped through. I skipped a little bit of mine talking about vaginal sutures. and tearing them. I haven't, just to be clear. Nothing like that has happened. And I know that because I haven't been gushing any fluid.
Knock finger woods.
Yeah, if you want to if you want to support us and
Patreon.
Yeah, you can go to patreon.com/cnkpod.
Twitter, Instagram, TikTok.
Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. It's super great. We're starting to get more views on TikTok, which is insane to me. Some of the
we got a big bump with the birdcage one, which I felt
it's not for TikTok. It's nothing. Like, it's wild to me because, like, on TikTok, it literally doesn't mean.
Oh no! If it's under 1 million, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, basically. But like, we were getting like 5 views. Like a month ago, we were getting like 5 views per video. Then it bumped up to like 200 per video, and now it's like we'll be between like 200
and 2,000
and like like 1,000.
It's like my income over the years.
Right. It's literally like one video will have 2 views, another video will be like 600 views, and then one will be like 1,200 views, and I'm like, I don't know what does it.
Yeah.
I don't know what does it.
Well, that's what our Anchor stats are like too. Which is very confusing. Anyway.
Whatever.
Thanks for listening. Even if you did it only once and said, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving us a try.
Yeah. No, we're super, super appreciative.
So in 1996, a film called Big Night came out. It was also written by and starring Stanley Tucci.
Yeah. I'd never heard of that either.
I didn't either, but apparently it's superior to this film.
Oh, interesting.
The Impostors.
Interesting. Okay.
From 1998.
This one
directed by Tucci as well.
Okay. I'd never heard of this at all. I never heard of it.
Very fond memories of it. I saw it probably in the late 90s.
Yeah.
Not long after it came out. I don't recall how I saw it, but
yeah.
I think I had probably seen I Shot Andy Warhol by then, so I had seen Lily Taylor in something, but this definitely cemented my
I love her.
Deep, dark, abiding crush.
I love her so fucking much. Like, she's so good.
The only defendable part about 6 Feet Under.
Right. I feel like she's so fucking underrated. I feel like she's in stuff, but I feel like there's just like no celebrity around her, which is like insane to me because she's so good.
Yeah.
I would love to talk to somebody. I know I've mentioned this. I would love to talk to somebody about helping her with her eyebrows. That's pretty much it. That's my only suggestion. She's perfect other than
oh my god.
They're just so thin and they're so far apart. But honestly, truly, if you got it, we all have to do something to. I mean, they probably look better now than they did in the 90s, but we all have to do something though to make ourselves less perfect.
Correct.
And that's her cross to bear. But yeah, Richard Jenkins is in this.
Oh, so many people.
Fucking.
This is one of the things about it. It's like every character actor that is underrated, he's in this movie.
God, Billy
which
Connolly.
I think was probably one of the goals.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Michael Emerson. I fucking love Michael Emerson. Huh?
He's
the guy that was like the right, like the guy that was helping Alfred Molina the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Ended up with Billy Connolly.
Linus.
Oh, see, you remember names. I don't remember anyone's name except for Johnny.
No, that's.
Benjamin Linus.
Yeah,
yes, from Lost. Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, how do you rember that?
No, I didn't.
I love Alfred Molina. I think Alfred
he's so good in this.
So good. Yeah, there's just so many. I fucking love Oliver Platt though. I love Oliver.
Oh, he's so
Platt.
great. Also underrated. I mean, I feel like
So
he's another one that's in. I cannot believe once we watched Three Musketeers that he's in it.
Oh my god, yeah. And that's the thing. Like I've known who Oliver Platt was since I was a kid because of shit like
that.
The Three Musketeers that he was in, and he was so funny in that. And I remember as a kid being like, "Oh, all the Three Musketeers are so cute except for Oliver Platt."
Right.
And now I'm like, no, he's the best one.
Right.
He's the fucking best one.
Wait, is Kiefer Sutherland in that?
Yeah. Oh god, I had such a crush.
So they were both in flatliners as
Yep,
well.
they were. Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Yep.
Why wasn't that in the trivia of either movie?
It probably was. I was obsessed with the Three Musketeers as a kid, though. Like,
Who's the third one? I've already forgotten.
it's Chris O'Donnell, Charlie Sheen, Kiefer
okay.
Sutherland, and Oliver Platt. Because Kiefer Sutherland, Charlie Sheen, and Oliver Platt were the Three Musketeers, and Charlie Sheen is D'Artagnan, who's trying to get in on. Trying to get in on that sweet Musketeer. Yeah. I remember I was like, oh, I fucking love this movie. And I was just like obsessed with it. And I loved it. And I was so all about it. And then I watched it as an adult. I'm like, one, this movie is so boring.
Yeah.
Two, what the fuck is this movie? It's like period piece propaganda, you know. You're just like, oh my God. I was like, oh God, it's so terrible. It's so terrible.
Yeah.
And it's like I have such nostalgia around it, and but then you watch it, and I'm like, oh my God. Anyway, The Impostors. Oliver Platt is wonderful.
Platt. Lily Taylor.
Yeah.
Richard Jenkins. Allison Janney.
Yes.
Who are tragically not in this enough.
It's true. Yes.
They're great, of course.
No one's in this enough. Luckily,
True.
I feel like Lily Taylor's in it probably almost the most next to
the main guys.
Yeah. Platt and Tucci.
Isabella Rossellini.
Oh, that's right. Tony Shalhoub.
Oh yeah. Shalhoub is great, as always.
Oh my God. He's so fucking funny. Like, he's so good.
She's right! I hold your ends in my hands. For in my hands, I hold death! The death of all of you and your confused bourgeois lives!
Like, I honestly, Tony Shalhoub is another one that I grew up around because of Wings.
Yeah.
You know, Antonio Scarpacci. Oh God, he's so fucking good in Wings.
Okay.
And that's his character in that is like amazing. Like it just anyway. He's so funny.
He's in Big Night as well. So
okay.
We gotta watch it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I had never heard of this. I had no idea what it was about. I didn't know. I didn't know anything about it. And I kind of purposely tried not to. You were just like, have you ever?
Yeah,
seen
I've been
it?
trying to get us to watch it for.
This is a problem with me. Personally,
the more excited, the more I try to hype something, the less you want to watch it.
No, I feel I have better success with a movie when I go in not knowing anything. But when you're like, oh, let's watch this, I'll be like, what's it about? And you'll be like, well, and I'm like, oh God, I don't, it's like I need to know some sort of element about it, but I don't want to know much at all.
Yeah, I think I've learned that, and so just start telling you who's in it as a reason to watch it.
That's the way
it's got Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Short King. Yeah, pretty much like the way to get me to watch something is being like, Martin Donovan's in this.
Oh,
like,
well, right.
Yeah, like you were like, why did you want to watch LA Story? And I was like, because Richard E. Grant is in it. You were like, oh. I was like, yeah, I didn't know anything about it. I was just like, no, Richard E. Grant's in it, so I wanted to watch it. But this one, I didn't know. I thought it. I did not realize I thought it was going to be more like the plot of. Also, I realized it took a lot for me to realize, and I was embarrassed when towards the end when Alfred Molina says imposter, and everybody that's lying about who they are starts running out. I was like, oh, the movie's called The Impostors because it's about a whole bunch of people who are pretending it's not just about them. Because they're kind of not really in a
not
sense,
as much as the other characters,
everyone
right?
else. And I was like, oh God, of course. But God, the beginning or closer to the beginning.
There's so much. I only remembered this movie taking place on a boat. I knew they had to get onto the boat.
Yeah.
But there's so much that happens before that.
Oh God, it's so fucking funny to me when they're
and
doing
it's actually
the
better part of the movie,
I
maybe,
know,
arguably.
yeah. Oh my God, when they're practicing on the bed. Oh God.
Yeah.
When he's like disturbed and he's like not mentally disturbed. Oh my God. It was so fucking funny. Like that kind of shit when someone's like that sort of like you're being directed, but the direction
yeah.
is like
Can you just smile like a normal boy?
yeah, oh God, it works when someone's being directed and they're not able to really do the thing, it's comedy gold every time. I'm gonna like hysterically laugh. It's interesting though, like the plot of the movie is that Stanley Tucci and Oliver Platt are two actors who are basically down on their luck. They don't have any money left. They're trying to like kind of run scams. I mean, not really. They're not like scamming people out of stuff. They're just like, there's like a scene where one of them tries to start a kerfuffle at a pastry shop. So the other one will come in and save them from it and get free pastries so that they'll be able to eat, which I feel like that's not really a scam. You're not trying to steal anything from someone. You're just trying to like encourage someone to give you something for free.
It's not a full-on grift.
Well,
the opening sequence presumably is a similar.
Yeah. When they're
on the patio.
I didn't quite understand that one though, because they're doing that and then Stanley Tucci runs off. Does he like grab someone's bag? I couldn't really tell if he grabbed someone's bag or his own.
Well, at the very least, I it's a dine and dash, I guess.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Anyway.
So. Yeah, they just like pretend to have a fight, and then like one of them stabs the other. Oh God, that was like a great scene because that's how it starts.
It's a great opening sequence.
And then. But I mean, like the scene following it, like it opens like that, and then the next scene is Stanley Tucci being upset, and then you like go back to that scene, and you're like, I'm like, oh, I love this. Yes. You're like, here's what got fucked up about that, but you didn't know. I love that shit. I'm like, oh fuck, yeah. There was a lot. I
also love because that's all happening during credits. Mm-hmm. Credits are done, and then you see the scene of Oliver Platt with a plate. Mm-hmm. Precariously balanced with like tea and toast or something. Uh-huh. And it just moves so slowly and it's given so much space. Yeah. And then the way he leans over to hand the tea to Tucci.
There's so much physical acting in this. And I don't mean like just physical I mean like it is done for laughs, but it's not like physical comedy in the sense of like pratfalls and shit.
Yeah, it's not only slapstick.
It's right. It's like physical comedy in the sense of like how people like, exaggerated facial expressions and things like that. Like there's that's
why it feels a little hammy.
Yeah.
Once they get on the boat.
Right, yeah. There's just so much running once they're on the boat. Everyone's just running. Yeah. It's a little bit like, like, what's like, almost heisty, once they're on the boat. It's just like them running and like hiding and shit. And,
well, I think it's. Oh, sorry.
Well, it's just a way it's interesting because it's a way for them to discover what's wrong. Yeah. So it's like I feel like it's kind of a clever way that they're trying to hide so much that they end up running into people that are also hiding and doing things. Yeah. That are like way more dangerous than them just. Because technically they
didn't really do anything wrong.
Yeah, they haven't done anything wrong.
They didn't stow away intentionally.
Yeah, they so basically what happens is they're these two actors that are like down on their luck. They go to a performance where Alfred Molina is this like full of himself actor that's like doing like a terrible job, and he ends up having like a fucking drunken sort of meltdown in the middle of their performance. And
during the sword fight in Macbeth, he ends up like he like just starts actually like kicking and hitting the guy he's sword fighting with.
And that guy like leaves, and then he's like, oh, this guy's not professional, so we're gonna end the show or whatever. So they're at a pub, and they're like
Tucci and Platt are hanging out with that guy.
Yeah, they're at the pub with the guy that got beat up. And they're basically talking about what a piece of shit Alfred Molina's character is. And Jeffrey or something, is that what it is? It's
what's the last name?
not. It's probably not. So then Alfred Molina walks in and hears them, like, hears Oliver Platt, like, talking shit on him.
It is time for us to say no, boozy boy! Bye-bye, Bertram Bad Boy! Hefty boy! Boozy boy! Greasy boy! Staggy farty boy! Poke you, I poke you, I poke you!
Something like that.
So he tries to attack Oliver Platt, and Stanley Tucci and him run away, but, like, Alfred Molina, like, stumbles, and he says that they tried to kill him. So then there's, like, a manhunt for them, and they're, like, accusing them of, like, being attempted murder or whatever.
Yeah, right.
So they just...
And it's in all the papers and everything.
Right. So all they do is they hide in a crate on a dock.
Yeah.
And they end up falling asleep, and they wake up the next day, and they're actually on the boat. So all they are really trying to do, they literally, but what I liked about it is they come clean about it. Like with Lily Taylor, they're like, look, we need to talk to somebody. They're like, we need your help. You know, we stowed away. We didn't mean, like, we accidentally stowed away. We weren't trying to, you know, actually do this. They're like, but we need off the boat before it leaves dock. And she's like, great. She's like, I'm all for this. So they're trying to get them off the boat before it actually leaves dock. So, like, they're not even, like, trying to, like, it's not even a thing where they're like, oh, we've already left shore or whatever. It's nothing like that. Like, they literally are trying to, like, get them off the ship, and then they fail because a bunch of things happen. But they get caught, and everyone knows they're stowaways. So it's like no one's no one's pretending that they're not, like, pretending that they're other people or, like, lying about shit. I mean, they do lie about stuff here and there, but, like,
yeah, they pose as stewards for.
But also, Alfred Molina ends up being on the boat too, so that's how they know that they're stowaways, because he's like, oh, it's them. They're the ones that tried to kill me or whatever.
Oh, Billy Connolly.
Billy Connolly. I know. I think I said that.
Oh,
earlier.
did you?
Maybe
Okay,
I didn't.
Sorry. Also, real quick, Matt Malloy is the guy who played Mike, who's the one they got.
Yeah.
I recognized him.
I know.
I
don't know what he's been in. Maybe Frasier or something. I don't know.
Probably.
He's been in everything.
Just like everybody else in this movie.
Yeah, exactly. I love Billy Connolly so much. I love him
so much. His role is a little,
right.
You know, there are some definitely unnecessarily problematic characters.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you feel that grip?
I do, sir. I do.
Powerful enough to snap the neck of a small beast, and yet sensitive enough to caress the tender throat of a young castrato, coax a song from him.
Good for you.
His and the Shake.
Oh, I know.
Specifically.
Yeah. Also, we collectively screamed, no, because there's a scene with Woody Allen in it. We both literally, I saw you look over at your computer like, should I just stop watching it? I was like, we've already committed.
Thank God it's only one little scene.
It's one scene, and honestly, if you skip, it's not going to hurt anything. It's literally, it adds nothing to the plot whatsoever. Like, having Woody Allen in it is so stupid and pointless. And Tucci, shame on you. So bad. Yeah, I don't have much to.
Buscemi.
Oh my God, that's right. Steve Buscemi's in this. Jesus Christ.
Whoever played the depressed daughter.
Yeah, she was from The West Wing.
You're thinking of Allison Janney.
I'm not thinking of Allison Janney. I'm thinking of that girl. She was on The West
Dana
Wing.
Ivey played her mom.
Yeah.
Mrs. Essendine. Hope Davis.
Yeah.
Oh, is she the fucking obnoxious assistant who's always talking to Rob Lowe? Is that who that is?
No, I think there were two assistants.
And Alan Corduner plays the captain. He's also great.
He is.
I didn't recognize him, but anyway.
Yeah. So what made you want to?
Matt McGrath plays Mark McGrath plays Marco Rubio.
I was like, I know him from something. And Marco Rubio. And
I also said Mark McGrath.
Okay. I get it. It's just I don't know what you need from me from it. A bigger laugh?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. But Marco, I was like, God, I know him from something. I'm like, I know him from something very specific.
Uh-huh.
I was like, I feel like it's queer.
Okay.
I was like, it's something really, really like monumental. I feel like I've seen a lot. And so I like looked at his stuff and like one of his known for is Boys Don't Cry, and I'm like,
Oh
yes,
yeah. Right.
Oh, because I've seen that movie so many fucking times.
Root.
I know. I'm like, why did I do that to myself? That was horrible. I used to just watch it and just bawl my eyes out. Like anytime it was like on TV or whatever, I would just watch it and then just bawl my eyes out. Why am I doing that to myself? I don't really need to do that.
Yeah, agreed.
Honestly, though, I knew
Let's
about
up
that.
the volume.
I don't know about that movie. What is that?
Oh, with Christian Slater, he runs the pirate radio. It's a very famous 90s movie. You know.
Oh. No, I don't know it. Stop saying you know.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had conversations about it. Is why I said
we might have, but I've never seen it or
if
anything.
you've not
like
seen it, then we have to.
Yeah, for sure. I've also kind of narrowed down the movies that I want to watch. I have like a list of like 5 or 6 movies that I want to watch for the month of my birthday. So, I'm not gonna say what they are right now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I might need your help.
Oh, okay.
And anyway.
I'm happy to give my mushroom stamp of approval.
Ew, gross.
He's also in a movie called Colin Fitz Lives, which I watched.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about that. I think.
Yeah. Which seems very 90s. I have never seen it nor heard of it, I don't think, but it's got John C. McGinley, William H. Macy, Martha Plimpton, very 90s.
Oh, I love Martha Plimpton.
Will McCormack, who's the guy, this motherfucker.
Oh God, yeah. He just looks like
That's the guy in Election, right?
No,
No,
it's not.
he's the guy that plays. He's on The Office.
Yeah.
As one of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. He looks kind of like he ate a baby's soul.
Yeah.
Right after it came out, I just grinded my teeth. I hope it came through on the.
Me too.
Not intentionally. It was just my teeth moved and they went. I don't have a lot to say about this movie.
No, I got real excited at the beginning because I'm like, yes, this is really good. And then when I get on the boat, it becomes a more like clearly. I feel like it's playing on. I saw a comparison to Keystone Cops.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's a period piece. If we didn't state that,
correct. Yeah,
seemingly the 30s, I guess.
Right.
Oh, and what's his name? Campbell Scott, who plays the.
Yes.
Is it German?
Yeah. Oh God, yeah, I forgot about him. From Dying Young.
Okay. He directed Big Night, apparently.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
I assume he's probably in it.
Crazy.
Yeah. So once I get on the boat, it gets a little too.
Yeah.
Old-timey, capery,
formulaic.
Yeah. It's a caper. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's not a heist. It's a caper.
Yeah, caper. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of great bits. Mm-hmm. But man, it is really hurt by things like the only black character being the Sheik and hypersexualized.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Also the scene where like he's dancing
with
them, and then
the one
it cuts to them outside his room.
Oh, right.
Draped in
yeah.
like scarves or whatever, and they're just being like, la 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 la.
Yeah,
making whatever that's supposed to be. And
I was like, what's going on here?
yeah.
Also, like, the scene where he's saying that he broke the record player because he pulled it, and then he, like, I guess hits it with his dick. Is that what we're supposed to think?
I don't know.
I was like, what?
It's a bunch of puns that are meant to sound like double entendres about masturbation, I guess.
I was listening to the music, and then there was no more functioning, only silence. And when she was singing no more, I got so excited I tried to pull it. But I scratched it, and I hurt it.
You did hurt it.
Yes.
Well, you shouldn't pull it.
Yeah.
And then they play the record. He fixes the record player by Fonzie-ing it, and then he starts dancing, but he's basically just
humping the air,
grinding and air fucking.
Yeah. You know. Yeah, that was like a piece that this is like a thing where I'm like, I don't understand the motivation of people like doing something like that. Like Stanley Tucci, you have a lot of explaining to do. Like why? I don't understand.
I guess to be period accurate.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Where like, okay,
it's not a good reason.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, I'm not. There's no good reason to do that. Like that's, you know, you're not going to be able to.
Teagle, I'm not sure how to pronounce the last name. Anyway.
I'm saying like in the sense of like, what's his name?
I'm looking up.
Oh! I thought you were motioning that you had it.
Teagle, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Teagle F. Bourgere, Bougere.
Okay.
Yep. Known for the Pelican Brief as Male University student.
Ew. But what I'm trying to say is like, even if you're doing like, you know, if you're like, oh, this is how people of color were portrayed, it's like you might as well have then just done blackface.
Yeah, correct.
Which I'm not saying that he actually should have or anything like that.
That would be more period accurate.
Right. I'm like, if you're trying to be period accurate, then don't you know, like sugarcoat it at all.
Yeah,
it's like why
right,
if you're gonna like the point isn't being if you're gonna do it right. That's not what I mean. The point is why do you need to do that?
Yeah.
If the reason is you're trying to be,
it comes across as apologia, as apologetic for. Oh, we did it. You know, this is how they meant it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. But yeah, it seems like, just really, 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 really intentional to be shitty. You know, because it's like, you could be like, oh, it's a different time. It's the fucking 90s. It wasn't like
Wasn't that different.
Yeah, it wasn't so like, you know, 30 years is a long time, but, you know, I didn't not know what racism was back then.
Correct.
You know, and I was like 13 when this came out. Like,
right.
I was aware, you know, and I probably wouldn't have gotten like all of the subtle racism.
Sure.
But it's not subtle.
Not in that character. No.
Yeah.
On the same token, token's the wrong choice of words. But similarly, Billy Connolly's characters.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as bad, but
right.
It's definitely. I mean, it's humorous until Oliver Platt is in drag.
Oh yeah.
Basically. Yeah,
the trope of like this is like a really problematic trope for many reasons, but like the trope of like gay men who are like not out or like aren't like fully open or whatever will be attracted to men in drag because they just like men, which is like so problematic on so many levels because one, it's like no. Also like you can be attracted to someone in drag. That doesn't make you like gay or anything. Like I don't know, like doesn't make you gay or straight or anything like that. It just means that you like that aesthetic. Like, you know, like
Right.
it's not a defining, because drag is like specifically for performance reasons.
Right.
It's like being attracted to like an actor. You
Yeah.
know, it's like you don't necessarily know them.
Yeah.
You just like a performance that they did. Okay.
Apropos of nothing.
Yeah.
I want to re-up our contact Katya.
Yeah,
campaign.
yeah. We would love to. Speaking of drag queens, Katya.
Who?
Yeah.
Hook up with people.
I love when she talks about hooking up with people that are specifically attracted to her in drag.
Yeah.
It's great.
Anyway, not to derail.
No, we can derail. I feel like there's not much to say about this movie. Like,
There's not.
yeah. We're only about 30 minutes in.
I know.
I did not think it was going to be this hard. Because I enjoy, I mean, okay, other than Woody Allen,
Ugh.
the racism, and the homophobia, I enjoyed pieces of this movie.
Yep.
No, it really. This is a thing, though. This is a thing. I'll probably just start going off on white men, which I'm sure you are.
Oh, no.
This is a thing where it's like, I'm not, like, this is the thing I think about. Like, so much of the time, like, when you see a movie like this, where there's not a lot of substance to this movie is basically just a silly movie, but, like, there's not a lot to it. The plot is,
And it's
like,
not going
essentially
for a lot.
stolen and, you know, just running back and forth a bunch, and just an opportunity to do a little bit of improv here or there while you're, you know, doing stuff, which is fine. I'm not like knocking any of that, but it's very clear that the reason how this got made is because connections. Like, this movie never would have been crowdfunded. This, in the sense of like, if you and I were like, I know, let's make a movie like this. No one wants to see this from someone. Like, no one's asking to see this movie.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, no one's going to go to the theaters to watch this movie. No one's going to, and I'm not trying to say it's a piece of shit movie. I just mean, like, what it lacks as much as it gives. Like, you know. So.
Kind of breaksy.
Yeah.
At best.
Right. And, like, it's very apparent to me when people are like movies like this that get made. And this is something I feel like has come to light, especially during the pandemic, when like things got shut down, things, you know, a lot of things that were greenlit got red lit.
And apparently, grape nuts were in high demand for the first time in like ever.
Oh my God.
They couldn't meet production.
Oh my God. Is that the article Bunny said?
That was
Oh my
yes.
God.
That was a part of that. Because apparently it's very proprietary, like the equipment they use, even like the way they bake it or whatever.
Wow.
And they had, anyway.
No, you're fine. No, I don't know what you're doing. But
Friend of the pod, Bunny sent me, excuse me,
specifically
specifically an article about the history of grape nuts. Why they're called that. But apparently, I didn't know this. Apparently there was huge demand during 2020, during lockdown, because I don't know, suddenly people remembered that cereal is cheap and easy to make.
Yeah.
I mean, as a breakfast.
Yeah.
Not on the production end, but
yeah. Interesting.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Grape nuts are interesting though, because you can you can have them as cereal, like cold, or you can like make them warm, like, and do like an oatmeal kind of thing.
Yeah, dude. I learned that.
It's okay. They're just throwing people down the stairs. It's fine.
From the box.
Yeah. Yeah.
Heat it up with a little
I've
butter.
never had that.
Oh,
I've never had
so
it that
good.
way. Ew. That sounds disgusting to me.
It's yummy.
Ooh.
Also, ice cream. Apparently, in the 20s, somebody came up with a grape nuts ice cream where they just put it in with the cream when they're making it, or you can just use it as a topping, which also sounds kind of good to me.
Interesting. Yeah, because it's not that sweet, so it would be kind of nice.
Nice texture.
Interesting.
Anyway, grape nuts.
Grape nuts. Now
Point
you see
being,
them?
they're
Now you
neither. there's different theories about why they're called that or how they got that name.
Yeah. But they don't really know, right? Or do they?
Apparently, it's lost to history
Yeah,
exactly why.
Yeah.
Somebody said they look like grape seeds.
Uh-huh.
And apparently, whatever, who cares? It's all pretty boring. None of it's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway.
Back to what I was saying about the pandemic. And movies getting shut down and things like that.
Reading about that, though, did make me want to watch The Road to Wellville, which I've never seen.
What's that?
It's a quirky comedy about the health spa run by Mr. Kellogg.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is why he's basically the main reason that breakfast cereals became a product. He was cuckoo in the banana,
in the
coconut. He's very Christian and believed that bland food, like basically, it was puritanical in that
God bless.
you shouldn't really enjoy eating.
Right, yeah.
Because it's just sustenance and
it's a sin. It's a sin to enjoy anything that's not.
It's hedonistic, right?
The rapture. Yeah.
So he basically invented granola. I'm serious. He put a bunch of grains and oats and baked them together and fed it.
I didn't think you were joking. I just thought it was funny.
But CW Post.
The CW.
Yeah, content warning on this post. Attended his spa and was inspired by the granola. And that's what led him to create Grape.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, The Road to Wellville is a movie based on the kooky shenanigans of Dr. Kellogg.
Interesting. Is it newer?
It's from the 90s.
Wow. Okay, I don't know anything about it. Yeah, we should watch it.
I've never seen it. So
Me neither. I never
was in it, but anyway.
I've never seen it. Never heard.
I've also never seen Topsy Turvy.
Me neither. What is that?
That's about I want to say Rodgers and Hammerstein, but it's probably the older guys.
Ben and Jerry's.
Tom and Jerry.
Oh.
It's about Gilbert and Sullivan.
I see. Anyway, back to what I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
The pandemic caused movies to shut down.
You don't know about her?
And that meant, like especially lately, like in the past year, movies that have come out have been, I mean, I know that I'm old enough to where, like, new, but, like, the things I've seen that
sucks.
Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit, for one? And for two, it's all just like white people and especially white dudes in so many movies. And I'm like,
it feels especially glaring after 2020.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, we don't want this anymore. We're tired of this. And, well, you know what I mean. Well. It's just like, I don't.
Do you not want it or do you actually want it? Is why you're so.
Is it really that you do want it? You're just afraid.
Do you want to defund the cops or you just like want to fund the cops? You thought about that? You need to analyze.
My favorite thing is when I've seen, like, people be like, when we say defund the cops, we don't mean we want there to be no more police. And I'm like, no, yes,
False.
that is what I mean when I say defund the cops.
That's fine.
I don't want there to be any more police.
Abolish police.
Yeah. Right. I'm like, they're like, no, that's what it is. When they're like, when we say abolish the police, we mean like abolish the need for them. We don't want to make cops go away. And I'm like, no.
That's fine.
We don't want there to be any cops.
We can't abolish the need for them, but that means you have to abolish.
You have to abolish them first.
You have to abolish the concept of private property and state-enforced private property.
Right.
AKA capitalism.
Right.
Sorry, guys.
Also, my favorite.
Need to bring it back there. JK, know I love to see it. Don't want it.
Someone that I worked with once was like, yeah, exactly. So they were like, socialism only looks good on paper. They were like, or something like that. They were like, Venezuela, anyone, or something like that. And I was like, okay. And they were like, sorry, it doesn't work. And they did raise the roof motion, which I'm like,
This is a
okay,
white person,
you
BT
are
dubs.
white. Well, it was clear when I said they did the raise the roof motion. There is no
fair. That's
one
fair.
else who would do that motion. But I'm like, okay, and I just said, well, anything's better than capitalism because we know that doesn't work, and they just like didn't respond, and I'm like, weird how, like why I'm not like. What I feel like one of the reasons why people talk about socialism.
This is why they believe they're the smartest person.
Exactly.
It's because no one ever responds to them.
Well, it's
Has
because
ever
someone
responded to
says someone just says like, I don't think that's true, and they're like, well, I'm the smartest person I know, so, and I agree with me. Anyway, so like, socialism is like the only thing we have, like socialism and like communism, like all these isms are like the only things we have reference to. And I'm like, okay, capitalism doesn't work, then do something different. It doesn't have to be socialism. It doesn't have to be just make something different. Like, why does it have to be one or the other? Like, you can literally mix them all
the Cold
together.
War.
Well, okay.
No, I
believe you.
Fucking embarrassing.
Yes, correct.
What a number was successfully done.
I mean, like, and I understand, like, there's also, like...
How are we going to fill up another half hour?
We only have 15 more minutes to go. No, but seriously, it's one of those things where I'm like, truly, I love how we were like, we watched The Impostors, and now we're like, you know what? White men can fuck off, abolish all cops, and socialism. What's wrong with it?
I know you're sick of hearing it. But let's be honest, it's a little better than all the vagina talk. Am I right, fellas?
Fellas, is it gay?
The end.
Is it gay to have a vagina? Fellas?
Mm-hmm.
Fellas? Anyway.
God damn. Right.
But yeah, I just think what I'm saying is like people, like if someone's like, oh, what if we did this or this, and they're like, that's literally socialism, and I'm like, I don't care. I literally don't care what it's called as long as we're not doing capitalism and not doing something worse than capitalism.
Yeah.
As long as we're doing something better than capitalism, I don't really care what it's called. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a mix of things. I don't really give a shit. I just think the path that we're on with capitalism is so dangerous that it's like something really bad is going to happen. And I don't mean that in the sense of like, I just mean like to everyone, not just to, I mean like to the oligarchs too, you know, because yes, America has those. And like, I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, people will be like, oh, poor people are going to suffer. I'm like, eventually, there's going to be no more poor people. And
correct.
Who do you think is going to suffer then?
Right.
Like, it has nothing to do with, like, it's about, like, sustainability just not existing any longer. You know? Like, we've gotten to the point where there's no more sustainability, because if you get to a point where people can't work enough hours to actually feed and clothe themselves, then they're just going to stop working. And then you're going to have, you know, and like the pandemic
feels like we're
right.
really trying to get there.
Here's the thing though, the
ASAP.
pandemic has already caused, because of loss of life, it has already caused there to be such an impact on the economy in the sense of like work that's being, and people will be like, no one wants to work these days. No one wants to, and like ignoring the fact that like 1 million people have died.
Yeah,
They're like,
shouldn't be enough. Literally, though, people are like, that's not enough to impact the workforce.
I know. I'm like, what the fuck?
But there was also the, quote, great resignation, where so many people just quit their jobs.
Right.
Because they could.
Right.
And chose that over exposing themselves to a deadly virus.
Oh, my God. Also, I read something.
guys, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm
the only person.
No.
Other than me.
In the room, yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm very... Anyway, not to harp on climate change, because why would that be anything one would want to do? We're going to have another pandemic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you're my age or younger,
Yeah.
you're going to have to live through another pandemic probably.
Yeah.
On this
yeah.
scale.
Yeah.
That's just...
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And guess what? It's going to be harder
But that's the thing. Like,
to
here's
combat when there's also climate refugees.
Right. I saw something that was like, when does the pandemic turn into an endemic?
Yeah.
And also, right. And also, like, the pandemic has not stopped. And it hasn't really even slowed. We've I mean, it's not from when it started. No. Like, here. You know what I mean? Like, in America. Like, when we first closed down, it's worse than then.
Oh, good.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but like when that happened, it was precautionary. When like
barely.
Yeah, when things well, I mean like I'm talking about in the state of Illinois.
Okay.
I don't mean like in the entirety of the US.
Okay.
Like there was like a couple cases in Champaign. Or, you know, in the CU, whatever, and they closed down. And it was like, okay, we're going to make sure that this pandemic... They were basically trying to do something similar to what China did, which was shut down before things get bad, you know.
Yeah, there was like that
and
tiered...
Then, right. And then they're like, oh, we're going to... And nothing was getting better.
Right.
Really. They was just like, oh, we're getting used to it. And it's just like things have pretty much stayed in that area of like, we hope things don't get worse, and they're just like, and it just like keeps ebbing and flowing. And also, they've stopped. There's no more free COVID testing.
Really?
Yes.
No, none.
Biden nixed that.
Are you talking about the like tests you can ask for by mail?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh.
I think it's like just. There's no, I mean, I don't know. I haven't read too much on it because I can't really do that without self-destruct. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, I'm actually going to Google it because now I'm doubting myself.
Okay.
Thanks, Keith. Free COVID-19 tests ending for uninsured Americans. Americans who don't have health insurance will now start to see some of the free COVID testing options disappear, even if they're showing symptoms.
Nice. What's the source there?
It is ABC News. Not very reliable. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, American Broadcasting Corporation. I mean, come on.
Quest Diagnostics, one of the largest testing companies in the country, told ABC News that patients who are not on Medicare, Medicaid, or a private health plan will now be charged $125 when using one of its Quest Direct PCR tests.
Sweet.
Either by ordering a kit online or visiting one of the 1,500 Quest or major retail locations that administer the tests, such as Walmart or Giant Eagle. Isn't that cool? So, yeah.
Giant Eagle. Wow.
But stuff like that where it's like, okay, there's no more free testing. So that means that the people, and let me just emphasize here, the people impacted most by COVID are people who aren't insured.
Of course.
So there's no more free testing for them. That marked with them not measuring testing that really anymore. I saw an article last night that I started to try to read, and then I was like, never mind, I shouldn't read this before bed. It said basically there could be another wave happening right now, and we wouldn't necessarily know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And with the numbers, I've seen people reference the numbers rising at this point, which means they're probably rising more than what they seem like because there's no mask mandates any longer. Yeah. There's no more and it's terrifying because what's terrifying about it is that one of the reasons people will be like, oh, it's very frustrating that people don't understand. The reason why the flu
oh boy.
is dangerous is because, to people who are immunocompromised, is because you can't just, because it, one of the reasons why, not the only reason, is because it mutates, right?
Oh, right.
Every year there is a different strain. That's why there's
a different, yeah.
That's why you get vaccinated for the flu yearly. And it means there are times when there's a flu variant that spreads more quickly or, stuff like that. You're not hearing about the flu so much because wearing a mask and washing your hands and social distancing doesn't just work for COVID.
Yeah.
It works for anything that you can, like,
anything airborne.
Any airborne transmittable, like, disease or virus. Fine.
Legionnaires.
So, COVID, you can, it's the same thing. Like, that's what the variants are. It is not, it's like the flu virus is the same flu virus. It's just a different variant each year. That's why you get a different vaccine.
Right.
With COVID, these variants, it's going to be the same thing. We're probably going to end up, and whatever. Like, I don't care. If I get the chills for like 24 hours, I don't fucking give a shit if it means I'm not going to die in a hospital or anywhere ever. Then I'm fine. If you're Keith, you might get 5G. You might get a little sore arm, maybe, and then you'll just go about your business. This fool got a flu vaccine and a COVID vaccine in the same day, on the same arm too.
That's true.
Nothing. He was just like, yeah, my arm's a little sore. And that was it. He didn't have chills. He didn't have a fever. Nothing. And I'm like, bitch.
Why are you doxing me right now?
I got the flu vaccine. And first of all, I've never had a more painful shot in my life. I was very shocked because she like tried to search for the bone to give me that flu shot. And I was laid out for like 3 fucking days. I was like dizzy. I was exhausted. I was like, what the fuck? That shit knocked my ass out. So I was like, honey, it's going to be rough, and nothing. Anyway.
Yeah, I did feel like I was tempting.
I know.
Fate.
But anyway, all I'm saying is there's a misunderstanding. If you catch the flu, you can still catch the flu. It's like, this isn't confusing for people. You don't build up an immunity to the flu once you catch the flu one time because it's a virus. It doesn't work that way. Like, it's not something that you
in 100 years.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. I can't tell if you're already. I'm like, is this a joke?
Well, yes and no. I just mean, like, there were all these comparisons to the Spanish flu when COVID started. And I saw lots of, people gave a lot of evidence of how politicized that was at the time.
Yeah.
Wearing masks and
all
the other stuff. I don't know if it's true for influenza in general.
Right.
But.
Yeah.
I mean. Hopefully we have another election cycle. Nobody's going to give a shit about, this isn't going to be politicized to the same degree. I hope.
I was going to say.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
knows? The thing is, like, people.
It's either going to be worse or better or the same.
I know.
It can't be all three, people. And there's no gray area in between.
There's no gray area in between those 3 areas.
It either is or it isn't. Or it isn't.
It is or it isn't, or both. It isn't.
As Jeff Glassman likes to say, there's everything, and then there's everything else.
That's true. That's true. You can't deny that. That's true. I like how I have like no fear of. I think this is like something that I see people do where they're like, we don't bring politics into the workplace, or like, we don't bring politics here. And I'm like, you realize that's political, don't you?
That's a myth.
Also, it's like the people are like, oh, we just like to have fun. We don't. And I'm like, that's a privilege that you have because you're white, which is a political stance. La 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 la. Like, anytime people like tout themselves as being like, yeah, here. We don't do that because we don't have politics.
Check your politics at the door.
Right. We don't bring politics here. And I'm like, okay, okay, that's okay. No, but okay. Like, I don't know. I just find that really funny. But at the same time, like, some people will be like terrified to make a political statement because they're like, oh, I don't want to. I'm like, no, it's fine. You can hate me for, I mean, because I feel like I don't know. I mean, like, I think a lot of people feel this way. But I feel like my political beliefs are based in logic, what seems logical to me.
Well, yes,
Not
a lot of people believe that about their politics.
exactly. But I feel like I'm like, okay, what does scientific evidence show? Like, what is this?
Okay,
You know,
but what is science? Let's not.
science is magic, not done by God.
That's a pretty great definition.
Like, I mean, because I grew up in a conservative. Ooh, we're almost at an hour. I grew up in a conservative Christian environment, and you're quite literally taught that science is fake. That
yeah,
science
it's the work
is
of Satan.
no, it's not the work of Satan. That it is literally there's
Just
like
gaslighting.
yeah, essentially, science is whatever can be manipulated to disprove what's in the Bible.
Well, yeah.
So, like,
Unlike everything in the Bible.
exactly, right, exactly. So, like, I'm, as a kid, in the church, they tell you that, like, science is quite literally made up. That people are just lying about things to make themselves feel better about not believing in God and not believing in God's miracles and shit like that. And like, it's very much implied and pushed on you that like science is like a sad, depressing thing. And like, instead of believing in love and
magnets.
Yeah. And the magic of the Lord, that you're choosing to just believe in nothing and you're just going to be lonely and burn in hell in your loneliness because you are looking at gay people and being like, no, I don't have a problem. This seems logical. You're like,
I don't have the science to disprove it. So
anyway, The Impostors. Would you recommend this movie?
Yeah.
Interesting that you would say that.
Yeah, it had bigger problems than I had any memory of, so
yeah.
I mean that's on me.
Yeah.
But that would be my caveat. I mean, where else are you going to get to see all these people in one place? No, I'm serious.
Okay. Big night, apparently. I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah, not all of them though.
I know, I'm kidding. I'm joking, Keith.
But yeah, I think I would. Caveats as always.
I think that I would not recommend this. Mainly because Woody Allen's in this, and I don't want to recommend anything with Woody Allen in it.
That's fair.
I would say, if you want to watch this movie, just watch everything until the boat.
Yeah.
Skip over the Woody Allen part. Watch everything until the boat, and then that's it. It's as funny as it's gonna
get. It's a 20-minute short, but you don't get any Lily Taylor then.
Okay. Well, until Lily Taylor is trying to ward off the advances of Campbell Scott. And then you can...
The only funny thing about his character is the editing they do where he's impossibly there.
Yeah. When they're talking and he walks off to the right, and then they move over to the left, and then he's suddenly...
there on the other side of the frame.
That's so stupid, but that shit, like, that gets me. That kind of shit where you're like, oh, I wouldn't have guessed that. Anyway. But yeah, that's mine.
Yeah, it doesn't... as a comedy or a film, it
for not being political, it sure has a lot of political... Sure does show the privilege of not being political.
Let's not to mention that the Mad Bomber is a communist.
Mm-hmm. Correct, right, exactly.
And a joker.
Exactly.
And a joke because of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One face. One single face. Why did that keep going for so long?
I know.
Also, this movie has 3 coda. Like, there's... Platt and Tucci having coffee with Lily Taylor and Matt McGrath. And then there's
them singing on the ship, or the depressed girl singing with
oh yeah, everybody on the deck. That's before that, right?
That's what,
it just pans across everyone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Everyone's paired off except for the sad German, which he deserves, of course, because he's clearly, if he's not already in the Nazi party, he's a proto-Nazi. Haha, Germans, am I right?
Yes.
What a joke.
Haha.
Billy Connolly is paired with
Michael Emerson.
Benjamin Liners. Michael Emerson, thank you.
Which was the only... I was like, all right. I'd watch it. I'd watch that.
The Sheik and...
the old lady.
Who's destitute.
Mm-hmm.
Are together. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. And then the credits are rolling, and there's a dance number where they dance through the set and then off.
Yeah.
Behind the set and through. And
yeah.
Too many. This is my problem with the Return of the King. There's just so much resolution.
Here's the thing. I don't enjoy resolution in movies. I like there to be a little bit of an open ending.
Me too.
If there's too much, and this is the same thing with TV shows. Like if there's I don't like watching. I do not like watching finales of TV shows.
No.
It's brutal and it's hard and it makes me severely depressed.
Yeah.
It really does. Like I will.
And when someone literally, I know there was a TikTok or something about this, like.
Oh yeah, they
every
shut the
finale,
lights off.
It's just like the person's starting to walk out the door, and then they just look back.
Yeah.
For a long time, and then turn the light switch off.
Yeah. Honestly, if I actually watch a finale of something, I get really sad, and I have to watch the first episode again.
Yeah.
At least the first or first couple episodes,
And
because
you can never watch it more than once. The finale.
Oh yeah, I don't remember. Remember the finale of The Good Place.
I try not to.
I know. I think about that. I'm like,
I try not to remember that whole final season.
I know Keith was literally like howling, crying. Like he was like, "Fuck this show." I was like bawling my eyes out, and Keith
I was so mad.
Keith literally was like wailing, and like got up, left the room, and was like, "Fuck this show. I fucking hate this."
I was
show.
so mad that I was crying so hard.
I know. Oh man,
I didn't want to.
I
care.
know. Fucking cheaty though. That's really what did it. Really.
Exactly. Of course.
But yeah, I like the fact that I like.
Not since the MASH finale have. I've been so moved.
Are you being serious though?
No, it's just one of the most famous.
Oh, okay.
It's like the highest viewed finale ever. I don't know if I've actually ever seen it.
But yeah, like it's one of those things where like it's impressive to me that they were able to do what they did in 4 seasons and make it mean that much in such a little amount of time and didn't push it and all that stuff. I think it's a really great show, but it's one of those where I'm like I literally could not watch the final season and I couldn't watch the season leading up to it because I would need to watch the final season because. And I'm like the same with I'm like, no, yeah, I can never.
No, I have no desire to watch any of that show ever again.
Rewatch it ever again because it was so good that to go back would feel horrible.
Well, it's also
and there you would have to wait till there's like no, it's not satisfying until the end because there's no resolution until the end.
Yeah, and there's a lot of surprises.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
That are you're gonna know. So anyway.
Yeah.
The Good Place would not recommend.
I'd recommend if you're like, you know what, I want to cry my eyes out to the point where my chest hurts, then watch it. Yeah, watch it from the beginning.
Just watch the news.
Watch. I forgot. I'm the one that stops the recording. So say something funny. So
Keanu Reeves would be.
I don't blend in at PetSmart, and that truth remains for the Walmart. 'Cause in either case, they say to me, what the fuck is lost in aisle 3? Every other day, I'm wondering, what's a human being gotta be like? What's a way to just be competent? These sweet instincts ruin my life. Every other day I'm wondering, was it a mistake to try and define what I'm certain's mad incompetence? These sweet instincts ruin my life.
have a vagina?